Right, hello, and welcome to the latest version of Top Dice Table Talk. So, Alan, as
Hello.
usual. Hi, Alan.
Hello. You all right?
Yeah, and we have Stoo Goff. Hello, Stu. Thanks for joining us.
Hello.
Hey, Stu. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Yeah.
Right, well, bit of a special thing going to go on today. We're going to have a giveaway, so make sure you follow us through to the end of this because you could gain yourself a nice copy of some core rules. Right. Anyway, Alan, what's your week been like?
Oh, gaming wise, good. Yeah, played some Traveller last week, which is great.
Yeah.
Enjoy playing a bit of Traveller. Yeah, lots of new stuff going on. Lots of really good conversations with people. Yeah, from the gaming perspective, great. The wife's car blew up or blew its turbo, which has written the car off. That wasn't great, but we move on.
Yeah.
Well, in the case of my
The
wife's
car.
car, it doesn't
No,
actually.
that's not going anywhere. Yeah, I didn't get a game in this week, so that a little bit sad on that side. But I've got lots of prep done for the D&D game set in Cauldron, the Shackled City. That's really
Mm.
coming together. So absolutely happy and fine with that. Stu, how about you? How's your week been?
So Star Wars on Saturday, that was really good. We've been playing for like a bit over a year now. It's the FFG with the Funky Dice one,
Okay.
and I threw Vader at them because I thought it would be a nice jump scare for them, and it worked. There was kind of a second. There was a second where I thought they're not going to run away, and I thought that was going to be the end of everything. But no, they finally got the hint and actually did Scarper and didn't try and stand and face him because they realised it was doing basically nothing. And last night I've been running Mythic Bastion Land as well. Been
Oh,
enjoying
nice.
that.
How's that going?
Yeah, it's an odd one because like reading through the book, I I didn't really get an idea of what the playing would be like, and it didn't really feel like there was much there. But actually, when you get it to the table, it's lovely. Like the travel
Mm.
rules are great. I do like the combat rules where you don't roll to hit, you just roll for damage. But
Yeah.
the travel and the random myths is what really nails it. Like there's 72 myths, and they all have like a six steps through it, and they're all a bit random, and they're all just like one or two lines of hints for stuff, and it's just so nicely done that they they really conjure stuff in your imagination, and my only problem with it is I never remember what we actually did because I'm not doing any prep work. It's all just coming out at the table, and if the players don't make notes, then I haven't a clue what's going on session to session. But yeah, no, that's really nice. The improv around it is absolutely fantastic. It's really well
Yeah.
done.
Mm. Very,
Well,
very popular game.
Mm.
another indie game basically, which yeah, we love. Anything
Yeah,
indie,
yeah.
we're a big fan of.
Mm.
So what is actually new coming out fresh this week? Alan, back to you for your GMS spot.
Little roundup. Well, not necessarily just GMS. These titles are available at all good game stores and some rubbish ones as well.
Yeah.
Um, New releases. So today, the Flowers of Algarab campaign set released for Coriolis the Great Dark from Free League. Looks really, really nice. It's a Free League product. It's really properly well done.
Another
And
box set, is it?
we've
Another big box set.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
a box set. Yeah, so you've got the campaign book itself, and then there's maps and player handouts and all kinds of things in the box
Lovely.
set. And it's all for the new version of Coriolis, and it's all produced to an incredibly high standard. We've actually sold not actually that many to direct customers, but we've sold a load to the retailers that we deal with. So it's in lots of stores and it's available as of today. Is Flowers of Algarab. Tomorrow is the monthly Peso release day. So you've got Season of Ghosts Adventure Path, which is Season of Ghosts is one of the I don't want to say older. It's about 18 months, maybe 2 years old. Season of Ghosts. It came out in 4 books. But what they've done now is they've remastered it a little bit and they've condensed it into one volume. So it's a single book. You get four. So if you bought the old Adventure Path books, it would have cost you £100. Season of Ghosts now, he said, because he should have written the price down before he started talking. So you get Season of Ghosts as a complete volume for 67.50 from us. Other people will have different pricing, but still, over the 4 adventure pass, it's a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
And then there's the pocket version for Alien Core for Starfinder. So that completes the core rules in Pocket Edition for Starfinder, which is great. And then there's also the Alien Core token box for Starfinder. So rather than the stand-up pawns, you've got the kind of top-down view tokens, which I quite like the idea of it. I think that would be great. I think it worked really nice on the sort of 1-inch grid maps and things that lots of people do. And on the subject of which, completing the lineup, if you like, for releases for Paizo for this month is the Boreal Forest flip mat, which is wintry forest scene flip mat. So they're all out. Release date of those is tomorrow.
Fantastic.
Again, you can get them from us right away, or we've supplied quite a few shops with them. Am I allowed to give a shout out to some of the shops that have got them?
Please do. Yes.
So Fanboy 3 have got a lot of these in Manchester. Patriot Games in Sheffield have taken some. Orcs Nest, Wayland's Forge, Leisure Games, lots of those sort of, a lot of the FLGs have got all of those.
The good game shops, basically, rather than
Yeah.
the rubbish ones. So there we go. All those are good ones.
And then the one last thing I'm going to talk about, which has launched today, is the backer kit campaign for the Adventurer's Spellbook for Castles and Crusades. You know, I'm a bit of a champion for Castles and Crusades. It's a great game. What they've done with the Adventurer's Spellbook is they've reforged, as they call it, all of the spells. But so the reforged player's handbook has got a load of spells in it already that have already been reforged. So they've taken those, they've put them in a specific book, they've added rune magic, and they've added a lot of magic using subclasses and things like that, and loads of other things. There's over 1,000 spells have all been brought together from different adventures and bits and pieces over time from Castles and Crusades. So it's a huge book. It's aimed at players and castle keepers, GMs. Looks great. It's gone out on backer kit today. It's already funded. It's a no-brainer, really.
Yeah.
If Castles and Crusades is your thing, I would put it up there with the other core books for Castles and Crusades without a shadow of a doubt. And if you play a magic using type character, spot on.
Brilliant. Well, from my side, not too much on the new news side. There's some developments on 7th Sea third edition from the French publisher. I'll put the links, by the way, in the comments for the video, so in the description. So there's 7th Sea third edition. That's moving on at quite an interesting pace. That'll be hitting Kickstarter soon. And coming up in the far distant side, we've got Ravensburg do a board game. Board game? What are we talking about board games for? Well, they do a game called Horrified, and there's a D&D version of it, and there's a new expansion coming out tail end of this year, and it's looking like it's going to be Ravenloft, which is really interesting. So Ravenloft doesn't seem to be sort of going anywhere. It's certainly sticking around. So those are the two things from my side. I think the only other thing really from me is I picked up a copy of Cthulhu Invictus, the new edition, the other day. So I'm going to give that a bit of a look at. Anyway, we've got other things to talk about. We have a victim. I mean, we've got Stu here.
we have a guest.
We have a very fine guest. So, Stu, in a couple of sentences, tell us who you are and what you do.
Okay, so I'm Stoo Goff. I am mainly known, I think, for the Aegean RPG. That's kind of my big thing. I also built Star Wars Adversaries, which is an app for managing your Star Wars games. That's quite well known. That's probably better known than Aegean. But I also published a hell of a lot of other stuff like Wild, which was by David F. Chapman, which is a tarot card based game. Action Potential by Rhiannon Swan Price, which is a Forged in the Dark sci-fi body swapping thing, and the Gaslight Club, which is kind of what got me started, really, which is a Year Zero engine zine. It's like 40 pages, A5, and it's Westworld, but kind of without the without the IP. So it's Westworld, but set in the kind of 40s. Yeah, you play androids who are discovering that actually maybe the world isn't quite what it seems. So that's kind of what I've done. I've also podcast production, Tales from the Alethian Society. If you ever want to have a listen, that was a audio drama based on a kind of Victorian Cthulhu type thing set in Scotland.
Right. Well, I believe
So
we're
not
going.
much then.
No, not much
Not
then. No.
much.
So I believe we're going to have a giveaway of a copy of your Aegean Core rules. So, as I said, stay tuned. A bit more details later on. What I'm going to do is, there we go. That's the Aegean. That's
Big
a
chunk
mighty
through.
fine, thick book there, if you don't mind me saying. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to have a look at the web page actually whilst we're here. So, give me a second. So, this is the website. I must say, it looks very impressive. And if I didn't know better, I would say this was a very Greek role playing game. So, Stu, influences for Aegean. What, you going to
Yeah.
talk us through that?
So it is a very Greek role playing game. One of the biggest influences, weirdly, is Pendragon. Like, I absolutely love playing Pendragon, and I really like the you kind of the domain management style things which go with it. But Pendragon is it's very spreadsheet, the role playing game. Sometimes, like you end up just so much stuff that you have to deal with. So I kind of wanted something like that, but I wanted it to be a bit more concise and not as convoluted. So Aegean is heavily influenced by Greek mythology,
Yeah,
heavily influenced by the kind of the Ray Harryhausen movies, like the
Nice.
original, yeah, stop
fantastic.
motion stuff. Yeah, loved all that. So, but also Pendragon is weirdly in there, and also a bit of vampire, and a bit of Star Wars is the FFG Star Wars. So it's D10 dice pool system because I love dice pools, and that was very very vampire influenced. I like the feeling of you know you're going to do really well if you've got a bucket full of dice in your hands compared to if you've got two dice in your hands. You get that kind of visceral feeling. But to keep with the Pendragon side of it, I wanted city management. I wanted a home for your characters. So it's not just. I mean, it is all about running around and having adventures and fighting monsters and all sorts, but it's not just that. So there's a kind of whole political side of it, and you have to sort of manage your city, which could be very like character hands off. They may not want to get involved, but you could still kind of as players you can still like get involved in the process, or it can be very like character hands on, and you can run for political office. You can run for political office and try and improve your city. You can also do things like build statues to your own glory and or steal the funds from the city coffers if you really want. But that stuff is in there. So yeah, so it's been a big part of my life since about I think 2016 was when I first began like writing something which became Aegean. I mean, it went through quite a few like iterations first, but it ended up settling on Greek myth, and that's when it kind of really solidified what I wanted to do, and really pushed a lot of mechanics as well. So one of the key things is it's not, yeah, like your characters can't die, so the gods will always bring them back, but you have glory and you have hubris, and these mechanics kind of interact. So glory is a kind of it's how famous you are, but it can be spent like XP. But hubris is how much you've offended the gods or society as a whole. And if your hubris is higher than your glory, then the gods they'll curse you, and there's a lovely random table for that. And they won't bring you back if your character dies. They stay in Hades.
Well, fantastic. Now, the new one, I've just moved back off it. I'll move back down to it, I believe, is this.
It is, yeah. So
Very impressive. Go on. Yeah,
I haven't actually got a copy of it yet. I've got a print on demand copy, which are never quite as fancy. You know, I like. I mean, you can see the difference. Like this is
Oh,
very
the
glossy
quality is,
cover.
yeah,
Yeah,
very, yeah.
and
The
also the
the print
ribbon.
on the print on demand for me, I must admit, it kind of for a lot of the PDFs, I tend to get them just printed because I
Yeah,
find it so much easier. I deal with PDFs all day in, day out. So this really it helps me to sort of have a print copy. But
yeah,
this, I've just been looking down the what the source book actually is all about, and this seems the history side of me. Obviously, I've got ties to archaeology, classic archaeology. This really does sort of tick the boxes. It sounds very solid. Let's put it that way.
mm,
So,
cool.
it's a source book. You looks like as well as the source book in itself, you've got adventures there that you can actually run as well. One, two, three, four, is it five adventures in there? Is that would I be right in saying that?
Yeah, 5 adventures. They're all part of the campaign.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that they're all connected, all related. I
And
mean, some can be independent, but yeah, they're all tied together.
and when will this actually be available, Alan? Because I believe GMS are actually will be distributing this.
Yeah, we will. We've got the Kickstarter fulfillment to do first. We've got some other books to receive because some books sold really well on the Kickstarter. So we're waiting for a bit of extra stock, and then we will be fulfilling that. So we should be, touch wood, we should be looking at probably a month's time, and Pelops will be available to those who haven't backed.
Brilliant.
Those who have will be getting it hopefully within 2 weeks or so.
Fantastic. Right now, the giveaway. So we have a copy of Aegean to give away. So it is a physical copy. It will be fulfilled by GMS, will this? So it's 100% guaranteed that one person will win a copy of this. Now, to
Signed
win it,
copy.
a signed copy, no less. Now,
Yes.
to win this, a couple of things you need to do. There's no questions or anything like that. All you need to do is to subscribe to this channel. So you subscribe to Top Dice YouTube channel. And also underneath this video, please put a comment in. What should we make the comments, Stu? What do you think it should be?
As long as it's nice.
Yeah, any nice comment, or yes, please, or "Coo, I want that," or
Name,
my
name your
has,
favorite god. Name your
that's it.
favorite god.
Yeah, name your favorite god. Alan and
Okay.
myself are exempt from this, unfortunately, as in we cannot be gods, unfortunately, but neither can you, Stu. But yeah, give us a random god, and yeah, what we'll do is we'll enter it in that, and we'll actually draw it. How long should we give it, Alan? Do you want to give it a week or 2 weeks? What do you reckon?
Let's do a week.
Let's do a week. Okay, so it's going to be a week, and so if we finish now, we're recording this; it isn't live. So if we sort of say, let's have a look. You've got till afternoon of the 10th of February, 2026 to enter this competition. How's that?
Sounds good to me.
Right, that's absolutely great. It'll be tomorrow that this will be going up, so you'll have just under a week to get this all sorted and done. But yeah, get this entered. Right, okay. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to actually sort of return to us. So let's stop sharing, and there we go. We're back in the room, gentlemen. Oh,
Technology works.
so what is your next project, Stu?
Yeah, right.
Caught you off
So
guard with that one.
yeah, there's going to be another Aegean book because
Yeah.
there's a couple of pieces. So the Isle of Pelops focuses on the Peloponnese, and I wanted to do like cover more of Greece. So I've got Athens and Thebes already written up. So there'll be another book for that to cover that off. I've been thinking. I was watching a lot of Robin of Sherwood last year. I gave it a complete rewatch. I haven't seen
Yeah.
it since like 2000, I think, was the last time I'd seen it. So I kind of want to do Robin Hood. So I'd sort of started last year. I was doing Wolf's Head was my go-to title. It was using sort of the same Aegean system, but obviously reworked with mechanics around not having glory and hubris and not having like city management and things. And I was sort of thinking all of your careers would be crimes rather than being a soldier, you'd be a deserter, that kind of thing. So I'd done quite a bit of work on that, and that was what I was planning. But Osprey recently released a Robin Hood book, and like no one's done Robin Hood in years, and then all of a sudden it's there. So I'm
The Hooded Man.
I'm toying with whether I want to continue with it or not.
I would. Okay, I'll be quite blunt. I would, because Robin Hood it's like the Greek myths. You could put there's Sherwood, there's the Hooded Man, and there's one other that I can think of, plus the GURPS book, of course. That's not a huge amount when you consider the legend and lore behind the stories and the myths of this person. King Arthur, obviously, there's quite a lot that goes around him, and Pendragon, to be quite blunt, just sort of hammers it. But I really think there's a market for a good, solid British Robin Hood game. Did you see the Robin Hood movie where at the beginning it was like, I don't know, some mad action sort of special forces movie at the beginning with
with
Taron Egerton. The one with Taron Egerton.
With the bow action and that. It was like watching something. It's like watching flipping Iraq or something.
Yeah.
Also repeating.
Actually, I thought it was kind of.
It was fun.
It was enjoyable. Yeah, it was fun. But then, I mean, I'm sorry. Well, no, I'm not sorry. I'm not apologising for this.
No,
Prince of Thieves is the ultimate Robin Hood film.
Have you seen the extended version of that? Because the extended version has so much more of Alan Rickman in it.
Yeah,
right. You can't have enough Alan Rickman. So
well, he made that movie.
Yeah. Every movie he's actually in, he made such an impression, and obviously he's Scouser as well. So I'm not Scouse myself, but I'm sort of situated in the Merseyside area. And I just love his stuff. I really, really do. And a sad loss, but so my take on it would be: do you know what? You've invested time and effort in it. It won't be out straight away. By the time it does come out, the Hooded Man will be sadly more of a distant memory. It will have moved on. And also what you do will have a very different take on things. And that's the key to it. And the other great thing is we can have you back on here for another talk about that then. And I just love Robin Hood, so that's winner.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, thanks for that. I've been sort of considering like ditching it, but
no, please.
Please. Another rewatch.
I mean, the thing is that there's room in the hobby for different ways to do the same thing, isn't there? You only have to look at how many fantasy RPGs there are, and how many different ways they work. That I think there's definitely room in the hobby for things like that.
Yeah. Well, what I'm going to do, I'm not going to pick up a Robin Hood RPG till yours is released. Okay.
No pressure, Steve.
So, I was seriously going to sort of pick up the Hooded Man because, again, that's one gap in my my. I just, as I said, I love the stories, like I love the Arthurian stuff, and I've been looking at. I'm going, you know what? Yeah, and I've not committed to it, so it's a month and a half of not committing. So this must be the reason why. So it's a sign from the gods. Zeus himself has spoken.
So lightning bolt coming my way if I don't.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. No stepping outside in thunderstorms for you if you don't. No, joking aside, I'd seriously, I'd love to see it. And yeah, bring it on. I'm looking forward to hearing more. Hopefully, you'll come back and join us again as well.
So I'm gonna throw a question out if we have time. Then
yeah, we do.
So we talked at the top of it about potentially not being, the Greek mythology is such a great rich history and mythology, but there's not a load of role-playing Greek role-playing games. So what do you think needs a role-playing game? There you go. Which mythology? Now I'm gonna say Egyptian is the one I'm going to throw out there. I know of one sort of proper Egyptian themed, and it's not even a role playing game, it's a source book for another role playing game, which is Codex Egyptian for Castles and Crusades. So I'm going to put that out there, Egypt. I think that would be a great setting for a campaign.
Right. Well, I told you I was a archaeologist to have archaeology background. My speciality is Egyptian. So there you
Right,
go. Spent a bit of time in my youth out there digging away, and the only decent there's the Castles and Crusade, but the only decent source book I have actually sort of seen um, that actually is truly Egyptian, I probably just is the Lex Arcana Egyptus.
right.
Um, there's Man Myth and Magic, but that just touched on it. And to be quite blunt, that's an old RPG, and it really didn't sort of tick the boxes in so many ways. Yet there's the Castles and Crusades one. Um, but yeah, there's and obviously there's the GURPS. GURPS is GURPS Egypt.
So what do we need then? So I've said Egypt. Come on, what are we missing?
What else are we missing? Do you know what? I would possibly sort of go na Native American. Actually, I would probably go with. I know
Nice. Yeah.
there's a couple of games around, but there is nothing that is actually that I'm aware of that is actually true Native American.
Mhm.
They all include too many aspects of fantasy or really sort of take the mick basically with the mythology itself. So I'm going to go with North American Indian.
Yeah. I mean, if you expanded that to include First Nations people of North America, but then if you
Yeah.
expanded that to include Aztec, Inca, things like that,
Well, they did actually
winner.
sort of move. What you've got to remember is that a lot of these nations they actually sort of moved up,
Yeah.
and they did actually sort of penetrate into the Midwest. And again, people don't realize that there's
Hmm.
a lot of history there and a lot of
Yeah.
crossovers. They were very much a
Hmm.
migrant people.
Yeah.
So,
So go on, Stu, and you are allowed to say something other than Robin Hood.
but you
I mean,
don't have to.
I'd quite like to see more Celtic mythology. That often gets overlooked,
Yeah.
especially Welsh Celtic mythology.
Yeah,
Hmm.
You see bits, but like something based on the Mabinogion, I think would be lovely.
yeah.
But
I think
you are
I
starting
think
to see some of those, I think, but not
you're you,
much.
you're 100% right. That was the other thing I was going to go for, but I started thinking of Mithras and that side of
Mm.
things, and also Celtica. But the reality is a really good Welsh Celtic, or possibly the British Celts, as in well, the um, Cornish, Isle of
Yeah.
Man, Wales, Scotland,
Well,
Ireland.
there was a book called The Celts was put out for Chivalry and Sorcery about 18 months ago,
No, yeah,
um,
about that.
which was written by Brian Young, and I believe is a very, very good book.
Yeah, yeah, I've had
So
that.
I'm saying that I've actually got a copy of it on my shelf, and I backed the Kickstarter because Steve's my mate, um, uh, and I just
There's
haven't had the chance to read it.
none of ours in the day.
Uh,
So there we
but
go. That's three very different mythos there that could be
mythologies that
done.
could do with more role playing games.
Yeah. So there's probably more if we started sitting down and sort of looking at more the African mythology as well. That again is hugely untapped.
There
Um,
are a couple of books coming out, creeping out for that now, but for the life of me, I can't remember the name of it.
there are, but again, they tend to be sort of, from what I've seen, they tend to be sort of heavily influenced by the fantasy elements rather than the actual mythology
Actual
itself.
mythology, right, right. Yeah.
But there we go. Well, do you know what? That's probably a good spot to sort of wrap things up. So please do enter the competition. So name your god, and make sure you click subscribe. If you tick both those things, then yep, you'll be entered into the draw, and we will actually sort of draw it next week, and it will be completely random, and we'll do it actually in the recording without any interruptions. So
With a
looking forward
dice
to
roll or
people
something.
with a dice roll. We'll actually sort of really go to town on it, and we'll have a dice roll.
Ooh,
Oh,
we're breaking out the technology.
that's it. Any last word from yourself, Stu?
Can I give a quick shout out to Gallows Corner? Their Kickstarter went live today. It's
Yes.
14th century England rebellion, so very much
Yeah.
my jam with Robin Hood stuff as well. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. If you can,
That's the same guys that did Mapamundi and Free Sale Studios, and their product is just on a different level. It's beautiful.
what I'm going to ask
Really, really
is
good stuff.
send me the links in the if you've got them, links to the Kickstarter, whatever, Stu. And what I will do when I'm actually sort of compiling and sort of doing the editing, etc., on this video. Well, the only thing I do is I put a screen. I don't actually edit the content. I'll actually sort of put this up in the description as well, and I'll also add whatever links that you want for your Aegean site. And also, you mentioned other games as well. If you've got any other links to that, please do share them with us. And thank you very much for joining us. And please don't be a stranger. You can come and join us just as a guest anytime and just join in with the chat.
Yeah, cool.
The option is actually sort of there for you. It's a family basically. We're here just to sort of promote them because we actually love the games.
Excellent. Yeah, it's been
So,
good being here.
well, Alan, last word from you.
I don't have one this week apart from I need more wine.
Right. Okay. You carry on whining away. So, well,
Some would say I've been whining all night, mate. You know.
it's a goodbye from Stu. It's a goodbye from Alan, and thank you very much for joining us.
Goodbye from Ade. Cheers,
Goodbye from
everybody.
me as
Happy
well.
gaming.
Keep rolling those dice.